Hi everyone, my name is Glenn Gibson. I'm a microbiologist in food and nutritional sciences at Reading. It's April the 20th, just starting fourth week of the lockdown or house arrest or whatever you want to call it. Really missing the squash up at the sports park and all my mates up there. Things have changed a lot. However, I can now work in my Canary Wharf squash classic T-shirt, and I can drink from a Sunderland mug without being too embarrassed about it. So things are odd. David Gibbons has contacted me to ask if I just make a short video about my research area, which is the human gut and the importance of sort of looking after gut health, particularly in these very strange times at the moment. So as I said at the start, I'm a microbiologist. And I work on stimulating the positive bacteria which are in the gut. And our lab in Reading has models of the human gut which kind of stink the place out when they're pumping away and doing what a normal gut does. And then we use tests from the gut models to do human studies. And we do a lot of work on probiotics and prebiotics. So probiotics are the live bacteria which are in certain foods, principally yogurts, other drinks, which are positive for health and are ingested and hopefully do things like stimulate the immune response, help resist infections. Prebiotics are a little different. They also try to stimulate the positive bacteria which are in the gut, and they're more the substrates or fertilizers or foods, if you like. So our garden out there is full of roses and weeds, mainly weeds. If we want to increase the number of roses, we plant more. That would be like using a probiotic, or a prebiotic would be like the fertilizer to grow the roses and decrease the weeds. So that's the theory of it. Hopefully we'll get around to putting it into practice at some stage. But back to the gut. Most of the cells which you and I have in our body are bacteria inside our gut. They're very metabolically active and they play a very important role in health and disease. And so it's important to look after our gut, and the way we can do that is through diet. So obviously obvious things like fruit and veg, high fiber foods are very good for gut health. But coming back to the supplements, I've been saying to people who I know to take these, particularly at the moment. It looks like the coronavirus, COVID-19, is able to get in the gut of people who are unfortunately enough to pick up the infection. And one way we can reduce some of the symptoms is using germ warfare, if you want, in its simplest sense, to try and reduce the infection in the gut and stimulate our immune response against the respiratory issues that it has. A lot of research, particularly in the last couple of weeks, has come out of China confirming that COVID-19 is detectable in stools of people who have had the infection. So as I mentioned, since this all began a few weeks ago, I've been saying to people, please take probiotics to increase your positive bacteria, and also prebiotics to help them function better. The gut is the home of most of our immune system. About 3/4 of our immune relevant organs or immune relevant activities arise from the gut. There is research showing that pro and prebiotics can help reduce viral infections, mainly rotavirus, which is a gut virus, but also some respiratory viruses. For instance, a very good study from Germany several years ago showed that in 500 volunteers, that the use of a probiotic could speed up the recovery from flu by an average 2 days and reduce symptoms by 20%. So these interventions will not, unfortunately, stop us acquiring the virus, but may well help us deal with some of the symptoms that it can elicit. The one I've been telling people to take is called Multibionta. It also has vitamins in, and another other short clips are going to deal with the importance of vitamins in this series of videos. And also a prebiotic is one we've worked on extensively in Reading for the last 20 years, called Bimuno. So those are the ones I've been saying to people. Also Actimel has been used in cold and flus, as has Yakult. So there's really no harm in taking these, and they may well help us to deal with the infection better and stimulate our immune responses as a result of their ingestion. We've actually been lucky enough to work with quite a few high-level sporting teams recently. The Olympic Games team in 2016, when they went to Rio, took an intervention we'd made in Reading, which was by Muno, and we were in the middle, together with Nottingham Trent University, in the middle of a season-long study with London Irish rugby team on the use of prebiotics to help improve performance, looking at the tolerance, recovery after training and matches, etc. Unfortunately, it did get stopped when the lockdown happened, but we'll hopefully revisit that when the guys get back to their games and their training. So I hope this little bit of information helps. Other aspects of gut health we've looked at in Reading have been in irritable bowel syndrome. We've done some work on cognitive function, and of course exercise is good for cognitive value. We've looked at autism specifically. We've looked at a lot of issues around gastroenteritis and more chronic diseases like ulcerative colitis. We're also looking at obesity, metabolic syndromes. That's a flavour of what we've done, but I think at the moment taking harmless interventions like pro and prebiotics can be of benefit, and I'm certainly convinced by it. As I said, I've been telling everybody I know to get their hands on these. Last but not least, looking forward to getting back to Sports Park. Missing the squash a lot, and if my friends Messrs Tatton, Arnott and Boughton are watching this, I think you're going to have some pretty easy games with me when we do get back. The best we've done is rig up from sticks. My son, who works at the sport park, has rigged up the cheapest badminton court in the world out in our garden from sticks and pieces of string, and that's my attempt to try and keep a little bit active, and we'll see what we can do. So take care, and hopefully see you all back at the sports park in due course. Bye.